Yo, what is going on, guys? This is your boy EmeryReigns here, and if you guys cannot tell by looking at the title of this video, Michael High Def Rad, Parkour and Free Running Showreel 2011. So, I don't know if you guys know this. You guys may know that I like to flip around a little bit from time to time for fun, but back in the day, primarily around 2009 to 2013, I was really heavily involved with parkour and free running. Now, parkour and free running is one of those things that took over the world for a while there. Everybody wanted to do it or everybody did it. Nowadays, it's not really something that you hear of as much, and it's not really something that you see as often. Back in my area here in New Jersey, I was one of the pioneers for the parkour and free running scene in my area. I was actually known to be one of the best parkour and free running athletes out here in this area as well. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to go back and look, 10 years in the past at some of my old videos just to see how much I've changed as a person and how wild I used to be back in the day, because a lot of the stuff you guys are going to see in these videos I can still do, but a lot of the stuff you see I will never even attempt to do again. Without further ado, let's go ahead and roll the tapes. I'm not going to be able to play the sound for these videos because there is music playing in the background. Like some of the songs that we're playing was like Drake and other songs that I can't play on this video, or else I won't be able to upload it because I'll get hit with a copyright strike. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check it out. Wow, man, 2011. Look how skinny I look. Look at my head. I look like a little fucking peanut, bro. This was in my backyard of my old house. Like, my form back then, my form for my flips was so good. And again, I can't believe this was 10 years ago. Wow, look at that front flip, man. That front flip was clean. This was the first time I ever attempted that flip right there, and I actually landed it. This is in the city that I used to live. Doing a little bit of parkour and free running. A little Kong into a break roll there. Into a little side flip. I remember doing this like it was yesterday, like watching some of this. Like I remember doing some of this like it was literally yesterday that I did it. I can remember being in these situations. So a funny thing to mention about this. So this was the opening of Pinnacle Parkour. It was actually a place up in North Jersey that opened up for, it was literally a free running and tricking and parkour gym dedicated all to just that stuff. Again, this is back when that stuff was really popular. So what's crazy is that I remember the first 5 minutes I was here, I was trying to show off and I literally twisted my ankle so bad that I couldn't flip. So you guys probably can't see it in this video, but I actually have my whole ankle wrapped up because of how bad that injury was. And this is when I was doing backflips in my house for no reason. Oh my god, look how skinny I was, dude. For no reason. I was so skinny. And I thought I was kind of big back then, like muscular, but I wasn't. This was called a pike front flip, where I can't do that anymore at all. You do a front flip and you tuck your legs out directly in front of you, like extend them. You got to be kind of flexible to do that. That is probably one of the scariest tricks that I've ever done. That's called a standing gainer. It's essentially, imagine standing on something and doing a backflip going forward. It's definitely the scariest trick I've ever done, especially off of something that high. And this is actually when I learned how to windmill. I used to do a little bit of breakdancing and stuff for fun. I'm definitely not that flexible anymore, but that's back when I used to do windmills and a couple of b-boy things. I used to be super flexible. Man, I was just wild. I was just flipping off of everything. Like a lot of this stuff I can still do. Like I can still do the side flips. I would never do this. I would never standing gainer again in my life. I'm pretty much past that phase of my life. This is a cork 360. This is definitely the second hardest flip I've ever done. That was the first one I've ever landed on ground. Like the thing about, that was a double front. The thing about flipping that a lot of people don't know is that the heavier you are, the harder it's going to be to flip. Like now that I got like a lot of man meat on me and I'm 200 and something pounds, I definitely won't be able to do a lot of this stuff. Back then I was 160 pounds soaking wet. And I was actually kind of a bit of a weirdo back then. Like I used to do this stuff where I used to record myself like looking off into space. It's actually kind of embarrassing looking back at this shit. And I thought I was kind of like an artist, so I would record random parts of the ground and shit. And this is actually one of the earliest videos that I have uploaded. This is back in 2011. The last parkour and free running video I ever did was 2013. I used to love doing those round off fulls. It was a full twist. Okay, so this video was made in 2012, and I remember this video like yesterday because for the life of me, I could not get this video to render. So I actually gave the project to my brother, and somehow he got this video to render. I still don't know how he did it, and he actually made this really cool intro for me. But yeah, I don't know how he went about getting this video rendered. It was literally driving me insane. But this is probably one of my favorite videos because this is when I really started to expand myself as a free runner. I started taking a lot more risks. And with free running, like the only way you're ever going to get better at it is if you actually took those risks. So this video is actually like there was a lot of really cool tricks that I did in this video. This was exactly 1 year after the last video that you guys just saw. So I made a pretty much one major project every year. So this is 2012 right here. And I remember I started learning so many different new things. Like I learned how to do these right here. It was a front flip into a step out, into a round off, into a tuck. And I actually eventually was able to do fulls off of that, like a full twist backwards. Back in the day around this time, like all my friends were pretty much older than me, and I was really out and about a lot of times. Like I was always out somewhere doing something. I was never really in the house playing video games at this point. This is also when I learned how to handspring. The funniest part about handsprings is that I have scoliosis, which means that my back doesn't bend all the way, and I was still pushing myself to do those handsprings, and I could never do them again because my lower back started hurting so bad. As you guys can see, the quality of this video is absolutely shot, but I think it's because of the way my brother actually got this video to work. The quality was so bad, man. I remember doing this too. It was a front flip off of, see this right here, I was going to tell you guys, front flip, oh man, I was clean. Front flip round off full, whoo. Side flip into a wall spin, yep. I can still do that. That was a really big wall to scale right there. I don't know how I got up that wall. And I believe this was just a round off tuck right here, yeah. No, that was a round off flash kick. Flash kick is when you kick one leg backwards. Wall jump into the side flip. Side flip was my favorite flip if you guys couldn't tell. Front tuck. Into the Webster, into the wall spin again. It's crazy, again, like looking back at this stuff. I remember doing some of this stuff like it was yesterday, man. And I was still doing windmills and stuff. As you guys can see, I was pretty slow back then, but this was sick. Wall spin into cartwheel side flip. Oh man, that was sick, bro. Whew. I don't think I could do that one anymore. Side flip. 180 into a break roll into another side flip. So side flip, if you guys can't tell, was my favorite flip. But man, parkour was dangerous. I only had like 2 major injuries in my life. Oh man, this was really high. That flip right there was super high. You can see how much I stumbled when I landed. Yeah, I've only had like 2 really major injuries when I was doing parkour. I twisted my ankle up that one time that I showed you guys at Pinnacle Parkour. And then one time I was doing this round off side flip on concrete. I literally slid and landed on my head and my shoulder. So yeah, I landed on my head and I started sliding on concrete. I don't know how that was possible. I actually have a really big scar right here from where I did that. And I actually lost my memory right there for like the last hour that I was out there. This video was my 2012 showreel. So this was all of my best stunts that I had learned in 2012. This was the year before I graduated high school. So a lot of the stuff you guys are going to see in this video, I was really pushing myself to get better at this point. But this was like the last year that I was really trying to do parkour and free running seriously. And any kind of flips or anything for that matter. Like, you kind of hit a plateau when you're doing parkour and free running. And mine was definitely 2012, I want to say, because I never really attempted to do anything else crazy after this. So this is when I actually started to work out a lot more. I was actually getting more muscular. And I'm actually amazed that I'm able to still do, like, this is when I was taking way more risks. I was doing a lot more free running type stuff here. That was a really, really high front flip on concrete. And when you're flipping on concrete, man, it's always risky to flip on concrete. That was one of the cleanest corkscrews I've ever done. I was taking a lot more risks. I was trying to do front flips into precisions on top of stuff. This was a pike front flip right here. Yep, into a front roll. That was high, man. Front flip, round off, Arabian, round off, flash kick. That was hard too. Yep. This was a Webster into front tuck full. Man, I was nasty back then, dude. B-twist. My B-twists have never looked like that. I was only about 180 pounds at this point, maybe 175, 180. That was a wall full, so I started learning a lot more stuff. This was the double front flip, landing straight up that time. Man, I would never do that front flip again off of that concrete. Man, I was getting kind of nasty back then. Okay. Looking at this, I'm impressing myself. I was really pushing myself for this video. That was a wall, one-handed side flip. Front tuck, round off, flash kick into a one. Oh, man, I was nasty with it, dude. Whew. I'm actually impressing myself watching this. That was a standing flash kick, one of the cleanest ones I've ever done, man. This was actually a flag pull. I was never really too good at doing flag pulls, so they were never super clean. But they were okay though. Yeah, I was taking a lot more risks back then, man. Like, I would never do this kind of stuff now. That was a precision into front tuck. Sliding board side flip, that was one of my favorite flips to do back then at that time. Cartwheel full, easy. And this was a precision back tuck. I think that was the last flip in this video, yeah. And this is actually the last parkour and free running video I ever made in 2013. I never made another one again after this. And I just lost interest in it. It wasn't as fun. I was getting into gaming a lot. I was working out a lot more. You guys are going to see how hefty I got in this video. And my flips were a lot slower because I started to obviously age. And also, you know, doing all the flips and stuff on concrete was taking a toll on my body. So obviously you guys know I still flip and everything like that for fun. But I won't really do any crazy stuff like this anymore probably. Not to say that I couldn't. I just don't. You guys can see how much heftier I got. Like, I was working out a lot harder. My arms were getting bigger. I was actually turning into a man. So it was a lot harder to do all this stuff. I was still flipping in the rain, being an idiot, but yeah, like you guys can see, like all around my waist area, how much weight I was putting on, like, cause I was working out and eating a lot. So, you know, this was more of like more cinematography than anything, you know. But I mean, I was still doing some pretty crazy stuff. That was a pretty long, extended layout side flip there. That's a round off full, so I was still twisted, not as well, but this was pretty dangerous actually on concrete. Front flip round off full. That was a double Kong. That's the first time I ever did one of those outdoors. This was a Cork 360. Super low, super sloppy, but I was still trying to just hang in there. Like, you just get to the prime of your career and stuff like this. I was surprised I was still able to do this with how heavy I was. But I was in the prime of my career in 2012, man, and you know, I wasn't bad here, but like I could tell that it was time for me to move on because I was into other stuff at this point. I was more into gaming. I was more into you know, working out and things like that. And I just wasn't really into the whole flipping and free running thing anymore, especially because it actually started to slow down around this time. Wasn't as popular. People were getting really heavily into Call of Duty around this time and things like that. So yeah, man, it was definitely a fun time in my life. I definitely do want to do some more flips and stuff like that and make videos because it seems like some of you guys are interested in seeing that. But definitely not something that I would go back to doing as like a main hobby anymore. But if you guys enjoyed this content, please definitely do be sure to leave a like, a comment. If you're new, be sure to leave a subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. You guys take it easy. I'm out of here.